Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TRG Central. This is Gary, and tonight we'll be starting up a new series. This series will track the 2025 road to the Triple Crown. Essentially, this series will go through all the prep races in January, February, March, April, leading up to the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks. Yes, we will be racing the fillies too in all of their prep races for the year 2025 the, to get into the Kentucky Oaks. And after that, we'll go in and run the Preakness and the Black Eye Susan, and after that, the Belmont and the Acorn stakes, and maybe we'll continue on through the summer and fall, leading up to the Breeders' Cup in late October or early November. And this will be our what-if road to the Triple Crown. In other words, as soon as we start racing race one, everything is going to be fictional from then on out, in the sense that whoever qualifies for our Kentucky Derby may not even be close to the qualifications of the real Kentucky Derby, and so forth. But we are going to use the real life, the real life fields for all the prep races, and if we do extend into the summer and fall months, all the stakes races that we'll be running then will also have the real life field. So without further ado, let's get this underway. First thing we'll do is take a look at all the horses that are going to be available for the road to the Triple Crown. You see at the bottom there is 131 horses. Some will be fillies, and you can see here female and male horses. And there's quite an array of horses. Nearly all of these horses participated in at least one prep race. The ones that aren't are going to be entered in allowance races that I pepper throughout the schedule. Because a lot of times, even though a horse may run in a couple of the prep races, they still may run a race or two outside of the races schedule. And we'll bring this little chart that I created. It's actually a report. And what this report does is tell the user what races they ran in the road to the Triple Crown season. So like if you saw at the top, Adura raced in the Martha Washington Stakes. Up here it gives you the stat line for the horse as of this past weekend. You see they ran in 2 races in real life, one of them being a prep race. Now throughout the prep race schedule, which runs from January to April, we'll again, like I had mentioned, we'll schedule various allowance races that the horses can enter. So in this case, the dealer could enter one more allowance race to get her to the number of races that she ran through the first 4 months of the season. You go down and take a look at some of these. Here's one that ran in the Rebel States in the Toyota Bluegrass. Admiral Dennis, he ran 3 in real life, so we could schedule him an allowance race. And we can take a look here, we can see that he did not run a race in January or March, so maybe one of those two races, those 2 months, we can schedule him an allowance race to get him to 3 races in real life. So our replay will be very close to a number of races all the horses and fillies ran in real life. And we do have a couple horses that did not show up on the on the prep races, mainly because usually I found out that they were scratched before the beginning of before the prep race. And the way I've been carting horses is as soon as I get the fields for any of the prep races, I generated cards for them. So that means that somebody like Berlin Wall or Bernie and DeRosa. Oh. Oh, it's Bernie and the Rose. Sometimes they're pretty funny when they group words together without spaces in the horse's name. And anyway, we'll be able to slot them into some allowance races. So getting back to the initial thought that these horses all here were probably in the field for some of the prep races, but they were just scratched for one reason or another. And again, since I cart the horses based on the initial field of these races, they had a card generated, it just didn't have any prep races for use in the generation of the cards. So anyway, this is a schedule that we do offer, and it will be in issue 1 of the Road to the Triple Crown that the TRG game publishes. Just in case you're not aware of it, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've published a subscription service for the Road to the Triple Crown. It has 4 issues. First issue has all the prep races. The second issue, well, the first issue, which we call issue 0, is the prep races, and there's a schedule to run all the prep races. Issue 1 has the fields for the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, and then you can run the real life races as a preview before the real life races actually are run on the weekend. Issue 2 is the same idea. Using the Preakness and Black Eyed Susan, you'll get the lineups for both those races. All the horses will be recarded based on statistics as of the week before the Preakness. And the same thing with the Belmont Stakes race. We'll have the real life fields for both included in issue 3, along with any horses that race between the last time they raced and the Belmont Stakes. And they'll have a separate card for that. Race either the Belmont or the Acorn. Okay, so anyway, that's how you, if you wanted to spice up the Road to the Triple Crown schedule, is to use this report to determine what horses are able to run extra races throughout the prep racing season. That's from January through April. And what I've done to prep this schedule is I went in and took a look at what allowance races were scheduled in the month of January. And for the first 4 weeks of January, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 allowance races for open to both male and female, and we have 1 for fillies only. You see that we're running 7 horses in the open allowance races and 8 horses, or 8 fillies in the fillies allowance race. You see I've already populated that. I used each horse's schedule report to determine horses that did not run in January that could use an extra race or 2 to get to their total real-life races as of the end of April. So these are the horses I came up with when the schedule calls for running these. We'll fill in the field based on this chart that I've created. Okay, let's see. We'll exit out of this. We'll also be tracking them on this leaderboard here. Either I can track them either by the Kentucky Derby victory points or by the winnings, and we can filter out male and female to get some idea who's leading in the race to get to the Kentucky Derby or the Kentucky Oaks. So next up is let's just go right to the schedules. And we'll be running the 2025 Road to the Triple Crown. We click on there and here's all the races that are on the schedule for week 1. Have the Smarty Jones, 8.5 furlongs for 3-year-olds. Next we'll have an allowance race which we'll fill in. Then the next race on the schedule is the Jerome. It's an 8 furlong race. That's at Aqueduct. The Smarty Jones is at Acorn. Then we head over to Gulfstream and run the Macho Man Stakes race. It's 8 furlongs, and you see the Kentucky Derby points here are 0. We just added a bunch of low-grade stakes races that may have had already 3 or 4, maybe even 5 of the horses that ran in prep races also running in this race. And you see the Sam Vincent here has no Kentucky Derby victory points, although see his Jerome horses will pick up points and they will also in the Smarty Jones. The allowance races do not ever award Kentucky Derby points, but they do have purses which the horses can win. Final race on week 1 is the Santa Ynez, and they'll award Kentucky Derby points for the winner. This race is run at Santa Anita, a 7 furlong race. So before let's just block all of the fields and all of our races except the allowance, and then we'll add the fields for the allowance race. then we'll take a look at the field, each of the fields. Okay, since the allowance race is open to all 3-year-olds, we'll be carrying 116 pounds and 7 furlongs. And most of the races that are extra races on the schedule will be run on fast conditions. There may be a couple that are running on non-ideal conditions, but for the most part, they'll be running on fast. So there's a purse of $100,000. So let's go ahead and bring over my little list that I had here. See if we can get them both on the screen. Yeah, that should work. And you can see allowance weights for week 1, 7 furlongs. That's this one. We're allowing Camp Hale. And they'll be using whichever jockey is available that ran a race for Camp Hale. Okay, 2 is Enter the Dragon. Now, if we have any duplicate jockeys, we'll see if the horse has a second jockey listed, and if so, we'll swap that out. Otherwise, we'll just pick and choose a jockey. Okay, horse 3. Is Cut the Dust. Horse 4 is Griffin. Horse 5 will be Lured Away. Horse 6 is Oriole. And horse 7 will be Wow, That's Hot. And let's just bring up Wow, That's Hot's card. You see he ran 3 races. And if we look on this, go down bottom here. Not sure. This is listed by let's see if I can find Wild at Hot and see how many races he actually ran. Oh well. Thought it was going to be easy to find them, but I guess not. Yeah, there's Griffin. And see, he didn't run at any prep races, so he can run a race, 3 races and get to his a number of races. Oh well, there it is. Well, that's funny. In real life, he ran in 3 races, and he had 1 race that he is better than in the schedule, so he can slot 2 more races since he's run 3 in real life. Okay. Oh, looks like the jockeys are all different. So, oh no, we have Brian J. Hernandez like two. Let's see, let's go with Camp Hale. That's the only jockey that rode him so far this year. Go down to Lure the Way. Okay, he has Emmanuel Esquivel. So we'll go ahead and switch Brian out for Emmanuel Esquivel. There we go. So he'll be the jockey for Lure the Way. So anyway, it looks like the field's set for 7 horses. Save it. Go back over to the schedule. Now we can lock that race and let's view all the schedules here. Smarty Jones, here is your 6 horses and Smarty Jones. This race was originally scheduled for 1/4/2025. And we have the allowance race we just filled in. It might be interesting allowance race and maybe look at the horses trainers and maybe go to a race where a trainer has 3 or 4 horses in it. Okay, here's the Jerome. Also run on 1/4. And then the St. Vincent. You run a Santa Anita. 5 horses in that field. Then we have the Mucho Macho over at Gulfstream. And then finally the Santa Ynez over Santa Anita. And this is run real life on the 5th. 8 horses. Ooh, Papa, see, it's like I tell you, he has 3 horses in this race. That would be interesting to do a similar thing to an allowance race. And you can see the purses. The biggest purse of the week is the Smarty Jones, $250,000. And as I mentioned to you, the allowance race, the St. Vincent, and the Macho Man Stick will not award victory points, but they do have purses. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the races here in week 1. First race up is Smarty Jones. You see there's 2 horses that are warning line favorites. The rest, well, we'll see if they can even finish. Okay, so where Oakland, you see where this is starting. That's an 8.5 furlong race right on the edge there. I think in real life the Oakland finish line will be moved back here, so they will have a little more room before they go into the curve. Let's go ahead and guess we run the race. I'm thinking that we can at least look at the field. And again, the field's down here, but it does not list the jockey. List the jockey, you can just hover over each of them. Looks like Coal Battle will be out of the gate first. That'll give him a bit of advantage going into the turn as quickly as it does. So let's go ahead and start the race up. Check the Stewart Tower, everything's a go, so they're off. We have it on spectator speed, so it gives you a chance to watch the race develop. It's like we're going into the clubhouse turn, and we have a 2-horse race, Mode Quality and Coal Battle. Well, it looks like Coal Battle is wins by a pretty wide margin, but there was a very, very good race for second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. So let's see how they actually finished. Here we have Coal Battle with the win, Hot Gunner second, Mode Quality third, Content fourth, Hailed Angel fifth, and Hot Property sixth. Okay. And Coal Battle managed to win $150,000. Well, that's it from Oaklawn Park for the Sparty Jones. Move on to our first allowance race on the schedule. It's going to be run at Aqueduct right before the Jerome Stakes. And you see here, it's going to be a very nice race. These allowance races sometimes have horses that were probably not as good as some of the other horses in the prep races. So when you group them all together, it looks like it might give you a pretty good race. Might be an interesting race to wager on, as you have 2, 4, 5 of the 7 horses very close to winning line odds. Let's head over to Aqueduct. And there's the 7-furlong race. They'll be using the chute at the Aqueduct. Let's go quickly and take a look at the field. And let's see if everything's all set. Stewart Tower says we're good to go, and they're off. Horse 6, Furio out at the gate first, but Horse 1, Camp Hill, takes an early lead. You see, you can always track the race here, the leaderboard. And it looks like it might be Camp Hill with the win. Doesn't look like there to be any other horse catching him. And while that's hot, had some type of issue, and he's down in the back stretch. So there's that race. It looks like it was Camp Hill with the win, and Furio second. Make sure there's no steward or jockey inquiries. And there aren't, so we have Camp Hill, Furio, Cut the Dust, and Enter the Dragon. Okay, let's go to the next race on the week 1 schedule. That's the Jerome. Again, it's at Aqueduct, $150,000 first, and you have Kentucky Derby points for it. So let's go ahead and head back over to Aqueduct. Here's the morning line. Oh, this is a very good morning line. All the horses are under $10 to 1 payoffs. Let's go ahead and get over to Aqueduct. And this is a mile race, so they're starting at the tail end of this chute. The chute's is designed for 7 furlong races and 1 mile races. So let's check the sewage tower, see if everything's a go. It is. And it looks like down there a Cyclone State could be out of the gate first. He is. And they're off. And here in the back stretch, we have Cyclone State with the lead. Now we also have a little utility that if the auto jockey does not is not able to use most, if not all, of the horse's forward movement points, a pop-up comes up and we can reset and move the horse ourselves. So it looks like Suddenly Do Right has 3 movement points left at horse number 7. So surprising we can do something like that. So let's switch. We'll undo the move and let's do it again. In fact, we're just gonna go straight and then move on sideways to get in front of both of them. So much better movement than auto jockey. Sometimes the auto jockey is like a regular human jockey. They do make mistakes at times. So zoom. And it looks like Cyclone State is padding his lead here going into the home stretch. But 7, Sunday New Right is kind of catching up, but he's probably not going to have enough time to catch him. So we did have a good finish for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Okay, Cyclone State, Cyclone Sunday Do Right, Omaha, Omaha, Enduring Spirit, Your Magic, and Man City. Now, if you remember, the top 5 finishers get points. So all the way down to Enduring Spirit will get points. Okay, let's go back to the schedule. Next up is the San Vincent. It will not give out Kentucky Derby points, but it does have a purse of $200,000. Surprising that horse race is not part of the truck race circuit. Seven furlong race, grade 2 race. Okay, there's 5 horses racing. Looks like Barnes is the overwhelming favorite in this race. Yeah, Santa Anita. They're using the chute for 7 furlong. With Tower said horses are all yet in the starting gate and they're off. In the back stretch, like we have Mackenzie Street. Two cruisers taking the lead in the back straight turn. And into the home stretch, we have Fuller passing. Who's cruising? But, whoa. Smooth Cruising caught up and passed them. On the last game, Turner wins the race, picked up 120,000. Fuller, McKenzie, Street, Romanese, and Barnes. Barnes was the favorite, he came in last. Okay, next up is the Mucho Macho Stakes. No points awarded here. Nice little purse at the beginning of the year, $150,000. I was just checking to see if this is the one that had older with the trailer with 3 rates and horse rates, but here is actually 2 holders with 2 each. Let's go over to Gulfstream Park. Check the morning line. Interesting there, Gunslow, the Macho Music. Hey, named after probably his passing. All the rest of them could be toss-up for anybody, any of the other horses. So let's go head over to the Gulfstream and run this mile-long race. We're off, and horse 1 got out of the gate first, guns loaded. Second turn here in the back stretch, we have Trini Rowe bouncing a few horses and has the early lead. Going into the clubhouse back turn, as you notice, these 7 furlong mile races don't even go around the track one full time. And that's indicative of the horses being 3-year-olds. Looks like we're gonna have Trini Rowe with the winner unless there's a huge. Nope, there's no huge. And we got Trini Rowe, Gunslow of Macho Music, Full Intentions. Okay, let's go back to the schedule, and we're on the last race of the week. That's the Santa Ynez over at Santa Anita, 7 furlongs. It's Little Wars and Kentucky Derby points. Again, the lines are pretty close, or the line's pretty close for most of the horses. We still haven't seen the race where we had 2 or 3 horses at the finish all clumped together in the pack. So we'll see what happens here. And Neil is using the chute for 7 furlong. Again, they only do 1 turn. They don't normally do a 2nd turn till maybe March or April. So it's Tower. All the horses are in the starting gate and they're off. Okay, it looks like Cowan wasn't able to use up all of their movement, so we'll switch into manual for 2. And see if we can do any better. Because he started so late, he's already all clumped up. We got 3 sideways, we go 1, 2, 3. Have to spend a point. Put him here, I guess that's not terrible. See why the auto jockey really didn't want to do that. You do that and then you spend a forward point, you get some sideways, goes up 1 more and does this. And now at least he's in the, on the lead space with polythene pant. Okay, so still on the turn. Go ahead and get Mola out of the gate. And you see, it was interesting to get how long to go way outside and come back in. You see a leaf, a horse stem, a silent wall, is right on the tail, and then now they're even going into the home stretch. Alan's got a little bit of a lead, he moves back ahead, but wow, silent wall passes him in the home stretch, even AZ Wildcat does. And looks like we'll have to check the tote board to see who won this race. It's either AZ Wildcat or Silent Wall. And the Silent Wall and AZ Wildcat behind. So the Silent Wall wins by a neck. Remember, the top 5 would be awarded points. Okay, so that's it for week 1. And now we'll head into week 2. But before we do that, we can check the leaderboard. Of course, there won't be much action there, but there'll be something. And you see the winners in the pup races have all picked up 10 points each. Okay. Let's go ahead back to the schedule. In week 2, we gotta add some fields, so we'll bring the little cheat sheet that I had for the fields. And get these 2 allowance races fields added. Okay, week 2 allowance race 1 has Preakness. Authentic Gallop. Baker Hayfield. Hola Jolie. Osner. Luxor Cafe. One thing about Luxor Cafe, he ran most of his races overseas. So that's why he had no races in the prep races. So we're going to pull him in and let him run here in this allowance race. But if you notice, he has a pretty good rating at 86, so he'd probably be one of the favorites. And then Pinkfoot. Okay, check here. Looks like Gabriel Ciaz is the only one doubled up, so let's take a look at Pinkfoot, see what we have. Yeah, Ricardo Santana, a little like Ricardo, but he's actually better than Gabriel as far as points. So Ricardo Santana is him, saves the field, looks good, back over to the schedule, and we can lock that field We'll also lock the Pascal States around on the 11th. Do the second one, allowance race. Yeah, now we could do draw post positions if we want. Let's go ahead and do that for this race. We'll mix up the post position a little bit. Vector Cafe now post 1. Now the allowance race here, the second one. Down here we Candy Town. Disruptor. Charlotte. Fourth Spaceman. Anna. Ronde. Urban Planner. And Tip Top Thomas. Hey, take a look here. We do have a duplicate with Disruptor, Tip Top both have Pilot Ortiz. See if he has that. Go with Disruptor. He doesn't either. Let's see, we do have 4 or 5 jockeys not running in this race, so we can find one. Look at how that was all right, tip top. Okay, so like that, we're all set. Let's see who's running in the Pascal. Owen Almighty might be one of the favorites. Let's see if the week 2 started. First allowance race over at Santa Anita. It's being raced on the 7 furlong race. As you see, I thought that Luxor Cafe is going to be the favorite. He's probably going to run away with this. Looks like Austin may have a chance, but I think this is going to be, if anybody's going to wager on the race, this is one to wager on. It was Saturday either using the gate to shoot 7 furlongs. I already saw the field. Field's down here. And they're off. Out of the gate first was Big Vince. Pack straight. Looks like we have a nice race developing with Authentic and Big Vince. Ooh, Big Vince just took in the lead going into the home stretch. But what happened to, who's always third, fourth, fifth? I think that's a disappointing run for their Luther Cafe. The cafe came in. Well, Big Ram picked up 60,000 for the win. Here we'll head into the second allowance race of the week. That's also at Santa Anita. This looks like it could be a little better race as far as the track handicapper things. Again, the field's down here. This is only a 6 furlong race, so it's moved up 1 furlong closer than the first allowance race. Check the Stewart Tower, everything's a go, and they're off. Urban Planning gets out of the gate first. Last out of the gate is Charlotte. You see the back straight, we have a nice little race developing there with 5 of the horses and within 1 space apart. Ooh, Candy Town has 4 spaces left. Horse 1. I think we'll spend a point to go outside. It's a little tough to go outside when you're heading into the turns, but you have a lot of extra spaces left. Nearly got all the way out front, but probably gonna have to move in a little bit anyway in the back turn here. Anyway, end of the turn. Resume the race, so Charlotte left we go, and there we go. Heading into the home stretch, we have a 3-horse race. Like any of those 3 horses can still have a chance to win. Wow, look at that. That horse 5 went down the chute, Grande. From that race, it ended up being 5th place. So with Urban Planet, Disruptor, Share of the Lutz, Candy Town ended up 4th, and so forth. Not much of a first there, as you saw. Only 75,000. The winner only managed 45,000. Not going to be a whole lot to feed those horses at the Michael P. Cologne table. Okay, let's run the 3rd race. This is 6th race at Tampa Bay Town, but no points awarded here, but it is the highest first race of the week. If you another nice race, Owen Almighty, which I thought when we went over the field that he may be the favorite, and he is. Six horses, 7 furlong race here at Tampa Town. Field's down here. And they're off. Owen Almighty gets out of the gate first. Let's see if he can sustain that. But watch down here in the leaderboard. It gets updated at the end of each game term. Looks like it's going to be Owen Almighty as he has a huge lead. Well, Ford caught up a bit. You saw what happened the last race where the leader ended up fourth. Well, looks like Owen is going to pick up the win. Wiki Card second, Hawkeye third. Okay, that ends week 2. Let's take a look at the standings now. The females were done racing in week 2, so let's just do all. And we have nobody else entering the top, and no victory points for World 1. Good lifting up 100, so let's do listing and see. He moves up into second. New Cuisine, cruising with 120. Let's go over to week 3. We have 1 allowance race there, and we have 2 heat races for the comp. So week 3 allowance race here, so let's go ahead and add the field. Okay, week 3 is Donut God. And Final Gambit. He's rated 87, so he may be the favorite in this race. Donut God never ran a race in real life, but we're going to give him 1 shot. And put a 1 jockey on him. Okay, third one is fourth is Preakness. And keep it easy. Instant replay. And River Sands. Okay, it looks like we have different jockeys for all the horses, so we'll go ahead and save it. And we're gonna do the post position draw for this race. How can you see a little bit of change? Donut got dropped to 4th post position. Preakness got the 1st. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch all these races. Again, we'll have to wait until the 2 races are done before we can populate the field for the comp stakes. Let's take a quick look at. You can see here's a fillies race here. My Sharona. It's another fillies race. Drexel Hill, what's the Broken? The Raleigh Allison Derby. You can see 20 points are awarded for the two filly stakes races, the Silver Bullet Day and the Fusada. Both will award 20 for the winner. Raleigh Allison has no victory points run, but $100,000 points for these horses. Oh, 10 horse field. And then the Latonia. Now, I always get the Latonia and the Comet Stakes mixed up, and especially since they're run on the same week. That field. Chunk of gold. Church and State. Always like the names of a lot of these horses. Okay, the first heat race for the coming. Seattle Road. Magnitude. Yeah. Final race there. Western Promise, Holy Card, Dapper Moon, Built. You can see they're linked to the Comet Stakes, so when we're ready to fill out this race, so the only horses listed will be the horses that ran in the 2 heat races, and it'll rank them based on how well they finished. So let's go ahead and get the races started here in week 3. We'll head over to Aqueduct and run the first race. And this is one of the longest races of the season so far. 9 furlongs for the fillies. Very close race here. Look at those odds. Let's see how they run in. Over here at the Aqueduct. Starting here kind of close to the turn for this 9 furlong race. Again, you'll see the field on the lower right. You can track in the leaderboard right here after every game turn. See what Tower says is to go, and they're off. Horse 2, Beautiful Bloom, came out of the gate first. And as you see, this is the first race that's actually gonna have the horses run in 2 different turns. Usually the horses early in the season only go through 1 turn. Here they went through 2. This one and now a second one. Heading into the back turn, we have Sharp Smile with the lead. My Sharona is close enough to compete. And the other horses seem to be able to make up much ground, and it looks like it'll be Sharp Smile. Whoa, Beautiful Bloom came back and came in second, passing My Sharona. There you have it. Sharp Smile with the win, picking up, I think, 20 points. Okay, heading over to Belmont, we'll run the allowance race of the week. Looks like Final Gambit and River Thames are favorites in this one. 7th furlong race here at Belmont. Tighten this out of the gate first. Pretty tight so far. Let's see if it breaks out as we round on the turn. Oh no, something happened to 5. River Sam is down for the race. Let's see what happened. We'll get an announcement at the end of the race. It now looks like Instant Replay has the lead with Final Gamut close behind. You see it's a 3-horse race. Any of those could win on this final turn. There you have it. Yeah, it looks like River Sands did not finish. We go down and take a look at the bottom. We'll have a report somewhere here. That's been like game turn 3. There we go. Game turn 3. Pulled an ankle. If we were running a real schedule, he'd be out for 3 months, and with January, he'd be out February, March, April, he might be back for Kentucky Derby. Okay, so that's it from Belmont. Let's go to the next race. Next race up in the Silver Bullet Day, another Phillies race. 20 points on the board for that, and this is a 1 mile, 8 furlong race. So this 9 furlong race here was a bit out of ordinary, considering that most horses won't run 9 furlongs until sometime in March. So let's go ahead and run the Silver Bullet. Couple favorites, Simply Joking, Bless the Broken. Or at the fairground, first time we've seen the fairground in this series. Fields down here, of course the leader point there, we're all set to go. So what Tower says, we're good and they're off. Heading into the first turn, what do we have here? We have Bless the Broken with the lead. Simply Joking just past him in the back straight. Here we go to the clubhouse turn, and we have Simply Joking taking the lead, going into the home stretch. And now it's now Daxel Hill just past the leader, and it looks like he's gonna barely win this race. The edge is off Bless the Broken. It's Rexdale Hill, Bless the Broken, Simply Joking, and Golden Gamble. Okay, next up is the Raleigh Allison, 8 furlongs at Sunland Park. That's another new track that will be debuting in the road to the Triple Crown. No Kentucky Derby points won. It's a $100,000 race. Ooh, this is the one that had a full field of 10. And only one, everybody is in the teens except for Take Charge Tom. Interesting how this race will develop with 10. Here we go, Sand Lake, Funland Park. Let me a quick turn out of the gate. And they're off. Horse 3 takes towards, John was out of the gate first. And it is kind of a mess here, opening with 10 horses and a very fast, very short straight away until you get to the first turn. Okay, they're in the back straight here. We have 2 and 5. Smash It and Smartier. Take charge, Tom in third. Next is going into the clubhouse turn. Smash is still holding the lead. Oh, Take Charge Thomas. Take Charge Tom moves into second place. And Take Charge Thomas just caught Smash It. We head into the home stretch. And they're still even. Oh, Take Charge Thomas just taking the lead with 10. Remembering Big Jim is right in the race now too. Whoa, we have Horse 6 with 4 movement left. That's blazing for gold. See if we can help him out a little bit here. Oh, he has a whopping 15 points to use up. Must have used the under the whip. Pull him outside. And there you go with him. He's got stuff 4 horses. And we'll resume. You have to use the last 2 horses to move. And here we have the finish. Looks like Take Charge Tom Hill win the race. Remember, Big Jim came in second and Smash It. Okay, next up is the Leon but no Kentucky Derby points for a $125,000 purse. Let's go ahead and go to Turfway. First race at Turfway. Like Chunk of Gold may notch up a bit of gold in this race. He's the leader and has post position 1. Okay, Turfway. Start this race. And 2 got off to a huge start. Maybe Max out of the gate. The big lead that might be insurmountable. Let's see if Chunk of Gold can catch up. Whoa, 3. Who's that up to? No good. It's caught up. Baby Max. Heading into the far turn. Looks like Baby Max is hold on low. We have Chunk of Gold only a face behind. Heading into the home stretch and Chunk of Gold passes. Baby Max. And he wins the race. Chunk of Gold first, Baby Max second, up to no good third here at Turfway Park. Okay, next up are the 2 heat races for Le Cam. We have 2 heat races here at Fairgrounds and then the finals. It's heat race 1 on the 1/6 mile. This is a grade 3 race. Okay. Yep, grade 3. It looks like Magnitude's favorite on the morning line. And this is the first heat race of 2. Think of little doing, since this is one of those half furlong races, the first game to only Kamua Max only to move half as much as a regular game turn. So it gets kind of tight coming out of the gate there. It took a while for auto jockey to figure out where each of those horses will end up. Here in the back straight, it looks like Innovator with the lead. Magnitude is close. Golden Afternoon for movement left. Yeah. Can't go out for the class 2, I'll have to use a point. Didn't make up the ground, so it's good if we move them ourselves. Hey, home stretch, we have a 2-horse race. Oh, now 3-horse race, 92. He didn't win, but it looks like he came in second or third. Okay, there was an inquiry, but no foul. Okay, Golden Afternoon, Magnitude, Innovator, Tough Catch. Okay, we head over and do the second heat race. Much closer race here, or at least by the morning line you would think it would be. Spectator mode here at Fairgrounds. Back straight, we have Dapper Moon with the lead. Whoa, Dapper Moon gets passed by Bill. Let's see if Bill holds on to the win. And he looks like he does. Bill first, Maximum Promise, Dapper Moon. Okay. Now, since this is the final, finals of the 2 heat races, we'll have to add the fields. Here's all the horses that ran. So, usually in the finals, if I haven't mentioned it, however, the ranking is, that's how we put them in the post position, similar to like hollow racing when they have the time trial, the leader gets the first pole position and so forth. It's go time. We may as well go 10. The real race had 13, I guess. Here we take a look at these. They look good. Save the race. Oh, got the same jockey. Oh, there you go. In the magnitude they're built. Take a look at magnitude. That's Ben Turles. Built. And look for built is ahead, so we'll go with magnitude and what's the name? Oops. And then turn this. Okay, save the field. Again, we won't do any post-position draw. Lock the field, and let's run the last race of week 3. At the fairgrounds, it's a $250,000 race. So that's the highest first race on week 3. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, back straight, we have Innovator with the lead and Tough Catch. Dapper Moon needs a little help. Okay. The front faces the one forward movement to move in and the second one to move out. And yeah, it needs one to move out, plus it needs one to move back into this one. So technically it needs 2 points. It only has one, that's why it's locked. And the finish looks like Tough Catch is to win. 150,000. And that's it for week 3. We move on to week 4. We have one allowance race, so that's a fillies race. So let's go ahead and add that field. Okay, let's see, Baytown Butterfly. California Sunset. Autumn Wind. Carmen Candy. Hey, Jesse. Too fast speed. Soul and Sunshine. And Low Key. They have 8 fillies in the race. Any duplicate? Doesn't look like it. Let's save the field. And we'll lock on. field. Take a quick look at the field. The Martha Watkins Stakes, $300,000. Now look at this Southwest one down there, $1 million. That's the highest purse so far this year. 300,000 for the fillies at Martha Watkins Stakes in Oakland. For the allowance race over TRG down. Every once in a while TRG down to use for those and Oakland Park again. Ooh, that the Wayne Lucas has 2 horses in this race. Bob Buffett, Brad Cox. Follow racing, you know, Stephen Osmondson. The race here has a lot of really good trainers. Okay, so let's start week 4 with Martha Washington over at Oakland. So we have 2 stakes races in Oakland. Surprising we could have probably moved this race to Oakland and had a really nice Oakland race card. Okay, let's go ahead and run the races. Martha Washington. Couple horses here. Quiet side, take charge. Still, I don't think any horses have run yet, but you can always use the fast performances here for all the horses. And none of the horses have run yet this year. Go ahead and start the race. Yeah, too bad this won the 1 mile race. It's far up here, but since it's more than 1 mile, you're gonna have to run right into the turn. Very close race. You have a 3-horse race here going in the back stretch up. Looks like 2 or 3 are kind of falling off, and looks like Legal Empress is taking charge of the race and wins it. They have 4-long record, 143.8. Okay, next up is the allowance race over TRG Downs. 1 mile, no Kentucky Derby points. $100,000 race. And have 8 entered in this race. Oh, these are the fillies. So it could be a pretty good race. Doesn't look like any horse is really is that bad. So go ahead and start 1 mile race here at TRG Downs. Just a reminder, episode 2 will have all the February races on the schedule run during that episode. Episode 3 will have the March, and episode 4 will have April, and then 5 will start running some of the Triple Crown races. Okay, let's see, in the Clubhouse turn we have a 2-horse race. Autumn Rhythm and Super Speed 7. Golden Sunshine just came out of the blue out of the turn, and looks like, ooh, it's 3 horses all time. We'll have to take a photo finish of this one. And this goes with Super Speed, Autumn Rhythm, and Golden Sunshine. That was an interesting, probably one of the better races, and it happened to be an allowance race. Okay, we have the last race in January. That's to be a $1 million Grade 3 race called the Southwest over at Acorn. Have 9 horses entered. And we have 3 or 4 horses like Sandman. There's one you may have heard of. That's finally getting a few horses that are actually contenders for the real life Kentucky Derby. And there's Tastic, Publisher. Yeah, this is starting to show a few as the showcase some of the better colts for the Kentucky Derby. At least that's what the betters say anyway. Colt Lawn, this is another 8 half furlong. Well, that's Magic Solid the gate first. Going into the back straight, let's see what we have here. Oh, what is 7 doing way out there? Something may be wrong with 7. Oh, there we go. 7 can't back in, but he probably used up way too many points for very little movement. Have a nice race going into the clubhouse turn with 4 and 9. Beat King and 2. That's a Sandman is 3rd. And we have a neck and neck race there with Fantastic and Beat King. Whoa! Beat King just zoomed past Fantastic here in the home stretch, and it looks like it's going to be Beat King and then Fantastic. American Promise has a few extras. See, we can. He's the one that went way outside for some reason. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a Speed King win with the Fantastic coming in 2nd, maybe Sandman 3rd. Yep, Sandman ended up 3rd, Onyx Magic 4th, and so forth. Okay, so that's it for the January schedule. You can see the first week in February we have 1, 2, 4, 6, 9 races scheduled for week 5. So next down the list, so let's go over and view the leaderboard. First we take a look at the winnings. Speaking at $600,000. Here we go, we've already raced 131 horses. Take a look at the Kentucky Derby points, victory points. 2, 4, 5. Let's break it down for the Kentucky Derby. Now, Speed King and Tough Catch with 20. So the top 20 will get in. All of these horses here have a chance. Philly. Couple 20s. Okay, so I think that's going to be it from TRG Central. We're signing off for the evening. Just remember, episode 2 will be up in a day or two, and it'll have all of the prep races on and scheduled for February. Good night, everyone.